Alright guys, welcome to the part 2, answering the concern on the comments of Charles Sigler. So Charles Sigler, that video is for you, part number 2. Sorry, I was trying to make the first part yesterday, but my camera died, so now I'm doing it for myself. And so, without further ado, let's just keep going. As you can see, still there, Tupac. So, I'm gonna go wherever I left off, and I think I left off, let's see. We mustn't enslave slaves or a commodity, and all white didn't have the money to have slaves, but they did perpetuate the place and treatment of slaves. In America, the Casual Killing Act was put into place to prevent the poor whites, like the Irish or Jews, from being sued or arrested when they decided to punish or kill someone else's property. Slaves. I did not know that, but yeah, I guess black people used to have it rough. Holy shit. You got killed by poor white and nobody's gonna give a fuck. That's pretty depressing. I didn't know anything about it, you know. You're the first person who told me about it. I was not born in America, I lived here for 11 years, but I'm not a lawyer or anything. I don't care about shit like that. My stepmom is a lawyer. So I don't know about all that stuff, honestly. I know history, but I don't know, like, acts and all of that shit, okay? I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm a very apolitical person. Well, I mean, I talk politics sometimes, but I'm really, like, I'm not really into all of that law shit, okay? I'm not a lawyer. Also, many Slavic, German, and other type of whites who immigrate also participate in the system of white supremacy and in their own countries like UK, Netherlands, Australia, Russia, and even up to today. Let me tell you something about Russia. I don't know about UK, Australia, and all of that. But in Russia, it's not like that at all. Because in Russia, we barely have any black people. I lived in Russia for 19 years of my life, the first 19 and a half years of my life, okay? And I can count on my fingers how many black people I saw in Russia, literally. In St. Petersburg, Russia, I'm talking about. We barely have any black people in St. Petersburg, Russia. And trust me, Russian people, they don't have the same exploitative mindset as Western Europeans. Like, if black people act obnoxiously in Russia, Russian people gonna beat them up and all of that. As a matter of fact, even my mom told me that African Americans and Russian, they have similar mindset. And when I was thinking of dating one girl at FedEx, which of course it didn't work out because she was not acting right, in my opinion, I even had these thoughts that the way she was acting, if that would be in company, you know, you cannot say anything because nobody wanna get fired, so you have to keep your mouth shut, okay? You cannot just have full-blown argument with one of your coworkers in the company. But if, let's say, me and her would be living in the same household and she would be ignoring me, acting the way she was acting, oh my god, I probably would cast her out. And the fact that she's stronger than me, I was already thinking that we either will go to fist fight or she will piss me off and then she would call the police on me and put me to fucking jail. That was one of the things I was worried about, and that was the reason why I couldn't get it with her. Even though she did a lot of good to me because she showed me how to work without supervision. I was always looking at her, and I like how she was doing things. I like how she was always moving. I like how she was going and pretty much doing manager's job. And I was thinking to myself, I want to be like her all the time. I like what I saw. But I always was thinking that the way she was acting, if that would be in like house, I probably wouldn't get along with her at all. I was worried that she could call the police on me because she would piss me off with her behavior, and I would just cuss you the fuck out. So, and that's what happens between Russians and African Americans, you know. We're kind of similar, even though we're white and you guys are black. But Russian people can beat them up, and they can beat the regular Americans up if they don't act right. So, don't confuse Russian with other white people, because we're different. We're Eastern European people. It's like something in between like Asians and Americans, you know. It's whole different culture, whole different way of life. Okay, so, and Russian people never perpetuated slavery because Russian people never, you know, we never even had black people in our country. So when we see black people, we treat them as like, you know, something which you never saw, like something in the museum, okay? And right now I can tell what black people are doing in Russia. Black people in Russia mostly are spreading flyers, okay? Because people in Russia, they look at black people like something we never used to see. They see the swabbly personalities and stuff, and they thinking, you know what, if black person spreads the flyers, they probably gonna have more business. So let's hire the black person to spread the flyers. Because they're gonna be looking at them, they see that they're black, and they probably would be more inclined to get the flyer from the black person's voice as the white person. Because white people in Russia, that's like normal. And black people, this is something outrageous. So when you're talking about slavery in Russia, it's not like that at all. Yes, Russians can beat black people up if they misbehave, but they're not trying to exploit them. Russian people don't look at it the same way as Americans do, okay? Or Western Europeans. It's completely different dynamics of relationship. As a matter of fact, if you're going to look back in the history, Russian Tsar Peter the Great, the one who basically built my hometown, St. Petersburg, okay, that guy basically brought from Africa the slave. His name was Ibrahim Gannibal, who was a great father of the famous Russian writer Alexander Pushkin. So Alexander Pushkin, the most famous Russian writer, was like 1/8 black, okay? And that guy Ibrahim Gannibal, he became nobility because he was a good general and he did a lot for Russian army. And then you should watch the videos. There are some black people who do pretty well in Russia. African Americans, Africans. Like, of course, some of them getting beaten up because of their color of the skin. That used to happen. But some of them do just fine. So it's different dynamic of relationship. And besides, before we used to have feudalism, so 77% of Russians used to be slaves. They used to work 5 days a week for their owner and 2 days a week for themselves. Okay? Fucking growing potatoes and shit. So I don't know what you're talking about. White people used to enslave other white people. So don't say it's only white and black issue when it's not. Okay? It's really not. In every country, culture is different. It can be bad, but it can be different kind of bad, if you know what I mean. So I couldn't agree with you on that one. I really don't. Because I'm from Russia and I look at things from a little bit different angle, so I don't agree with you on that regard. So take Russia out of that equation, please. And besides, yes, Slavic people who immigrate to America, they might have been known slaves. But they were mostly like Western Slavic people, like Polish people we're talking about, okay? And look at the example, this guy Colin Kaepernick. Kaepernick, this is Polish last name. And when I heard that name, that reminded me of the scientist Nicholas Copernicus, but in Russia we call him Nikolai Copernic. So that's Copernic is really the same thing, okay? They just made it sound different for whatever fucking reason it is, but in Russia we call it Copernic. So Copernic is a Polish last name, so that means that yes, Polish people probably owned the slaves, but it's probably not that many. So most of it was Western European, but let me make another video, my time is running out.